Hello Divination and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to download and install our free header and footer template for Divi's virtual conference layout pack. This is the final result we're aiming to achieve, so without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let's get started. All right, so the first thing we need to do is to head over to this blog post, which I'll link to in the show notes below. Right, so what we need to do next is to download it. So I'm going to click here on get it for free today, enter my email address, click on download, and then download the files. So you can see here they've downloaded on the bottom of my screen. Next, I need to navigate to this downloaded file and unzip it. So here it is. I'm going to double click on this to unzip it. And here is the file. So this is the file that we're going to be using very soon. So I'm just going to drag it over here to my other screen so that we have enough space here to work on our design. So before we get started, I'd just like to show you what our design looks like. So you can see here we have this header area, and that's pretty basic. That's out of the box when you install Divi. And this is what our footer looks like. And what I've also done ahead of time, and this is highly recommended, if you're going to be using a header and footer for a specific layout, you need to also choose the layout pack so you can add the pages that match with the header and footer. Now to find those, it's quite easy. All you have to do is to click here and click on this plus button. So this is where you get all your pre-made layouts. So in this case, we need to look for a virtual conference. So you can just search for it here. And these are all the pages that are associated with this layout pack. So you can use any of these pages and they'll match really well with our header and footer that we're going to be installing in a moment. All right, so far, this is what we have. The next step now is to install our header and footer. So we've gone ahead, we've downloaded it, and now we need to go into our site. So when you first log in, now I've already gone ahead and logged into my WordPress admin dashboard. So when you first log in, this is what you see. You get to the dashboard here. So what you want to do is to scroll all the way down to Divi and then click on Theme Builder. Next, you want to install the header and footer template. So click here on portability, click on import. Now I'm just going to drag and bring my next download window here so we can add our downloaded file, which is right here. Okay, so you can navigate to it manually, but in my case here, it's easier for me to just drag and drop it like that. Next, you want to click on import theme builder template. Okay, so now that we've installed our header and footer, to make it global, I'm just going to drag it over here to our global template. I'm going to do the same over here like that. Now that we have this over here on the global, that means my header and footer is applied pretty much across the whole website. So I'm just going to delete what we have here. So next, I'm going to hit Save Changes. And now let's take a look and see what our header and footer looks like. So I'm going to refresh this page. And now you can see we have a brand new header. And if I scroll all the way down to the bottom here, we also have this beautiful footer. Okay, so the next step now is for me to show you how you can use this. Okay, so back over here in the theme builder, we need to click here on global header, click on this pencil icon. So this now is going to take us into the Divi builder. So what we need to do here is to customize this so that it has the design that we like. So let's start here with our section settings. So I'm going to click on this gear icon to go into my section settings, and then I'm going to go to my background. So here we can add a background color that matches your branding. So it doesn't have to be just plain white. So you can add whatever color you want. So that's where you do it. Next, let's take a look and see how we can add our logo. So as I hover over here, we can see we have access to our settings here, and this is an image module. So if you wanted to add your own logo, you can just click here on this logo, and then you can choose your logo here from your media library, or you can add yours from your local computer. But in my case, I'm just going to leave this as it is. And we also have this register today button. So I can go in my settings here. So this can be register today, or you can just set this text to whatever you want. But the most important thing here is to make sure you add your link, because this is how you're going to get this button to link to whatever page you want. Next, if you want to customize it in design wise, you can just come over here to your button and we can start playing around with the size of our text here. You can see it's getting smaller and bigger as I increase the size here on the slider. We can also change our button text color. And we can also change the background color. So you can see here, as I'm cycling through these colors, my button there is changing. Okay, so that is how you customize your button. Now, if you have a specific font you're using, so you can just come over here and change your font to whatever font it is that matches your branding. Okay, so that's how you customize that button. Now, over here, we can also go in and make changes. So I'm going to click on this gear icon so I can show you how you can make changes to this first button. So if you wanted to change the text here from schedule to something else, you can just go in here and change it. We also need to add our button link URL, which you can add right here. It's important because these buttons here will not take you to where they are supposed to if you don't add the link. Now over here on the design, you want to click on button, and this is where we have all our designs. So you can see here, this is our text color. Now, as I change it here, it is updating. Now this is the button we're working on. So you can see here, the color is changing. Okay. Now let's go to the button background. So this is where you can add your background colors. So if you wanted to add a solid color, you can just go in and add your color just like that. Now, moving on, we also have a button border width. So you can change the sizes here. You can increase it. Of course, you don't want to go that crazy, but this is where you would change your width. Next, we also have the ability here to change our font. So let's say you want to change this to, say, Poppins. You can see here our font has updated. You can make it all caps. And we can also reduce the size if we need to. So let's just go back to our button text size. So you can see there, our size is decreasing. Okay, so once you're happy with the change there, apply them to all these other links, and pretty much all your links are now working. I'm going to close out of here. We also have this text here which says early bird registration. So you can also go in. This is a text module. You can change that text to whatever you want by coming over here. Now notice it's set to heading 3. So if you want to add some design changes to this, you can just come over here to design, click on heading text, and on heading 3, you can start by changing your font. You can also change the color. We can reduce the size. So as you can see, this is pretty straightforward to go in and make changes to. Okay, so I'm going to close out of this. Now let's take a look and see how we can change this background here. So as you can see, I don't really have a lot of access to this, but the quickest way to do this is to click on expand settings and then clicking here on this layers icon. So the layers icon here is what gives us access to all our designs. So the first thing I need to do is to go into my slide menu item, which is right here. So if I click on this section settings here, it's going to take me to my section settings. And this is where we can change our background color. So as you can see here, it's pretty straightforward to go in and change our background colors. So this would match your colors for your branding. Okay, so that is how you go in and change that background color. So pretty much that's all we have to do here on our header. I'm going to close out of this and I am not going to save anything. Next, let's take a look here at our footer. So to make customizations to our footer, you can just click here on this pencil icon. So as you can see, there's a lot going on here. Let's start off with the section setting here. So here we can change our background color. So as you can see, I've just changed my background color here. And I know I keep on saying this, but you need to make sure that the colors you're adding here match your branding. Okay, so I'm going to close out of here. Next, we have this register call to action. Now, this is a button. I know it's nice and massive. You can change the text over here to whatever text you want. And if you want to link it, you can just come over here to the link and make sure you link this to your registration page. Now to design this, you want to come over here to design, click on button, and this is where you can start changing your text color, and you can also change your background color just like that. Okay, I'm going to close out of here. We also have our newsletter here. Now this is very important, so you need to really pay attention on how you can set this up correctly. So I'm going to click here on my email opt-in settings. So first of all, you can decide what text you can add here or what text you need on the button, but we're not going to customize that yet. So the most important thing is to come over here to your email account. So ideally what we need here is when someone adds their email address here and hit subscribe, they're added onto a mailing list. And this is a service that can be external from your website. Usually this is a third-party SaaS program. So we have email service providers like MailChimp, we have Emma, FeedBurner, GetResponse, and so on. And we also have Fluent CRM. Now, Fluent CRM runs on your WordPress website. So whichever one you have here, you need to go in and create a list. Now, once you've created that list, you then come over here on this option and choose that list from here. Now, if it's not showing, you want to click here on Fetch List, and this will show you and refresh and show you the latest list that you've just created, because once you connect your email service provider with Divi, you're going to be able to pass data between the two services. Okay, so once that's done, then pretty much this email opt-in is set. The next step now is to set your success action. So your success action is pretty much a message that you want to show after people hit subscribe, or it can be a redirect to a specific page, usually a thank you page, or just the page that gives them the next instructions. So this is where you want to add the URL. Okay, so that is the best way to set this up. Now let's go and customize this. So let's say you want to change that button color. So this is where you'd come over here and change that color. So you can see here it's been updated. So pretty much that is how you update that. We also have this text here which says join our newsletter. You can go in and change this text to whatever text we want, and pretty much that's all you have to do here. It's a text module. Okay, so let's move on to the next item, and what we're going to be talking about now is these links here on the bottom. So these links are buttons. So you want to make sure you add your button URL here. And if you want to further customize this, you can just come over here to your button, and we can change the button text color like that. Of course, you want to make sure it's easier to read on a dark background. We can also change the font, and here is where you can change it like that. We can make it all caps. Now, the most important thing here is to make sure that you link it to whatever page it is you want to link to. So once you've made those changes to all the links, basically your website now will be linking to the right pages. Now, over here, we also have these buttons. Now, these can be customized pretty much similar to how I showed you on the header. So this is how we customize our header and footer for our conference layout pack. Now let's take a look and see what it looks like after we've saved it. So I'm just going to close out of here, and I'm just going to discard and exit. Okay, now once you've installed this, you want to make sure that you hit save changes. It's very important that you do that. Now if I come over to my site and refresh, we are now going to notice that our header now has changed, and also our footer has changed. So if you want to access our navigation, you can just come over here, click these three little lines or the hamburger icon, and now we have our pages. And then I scroll further down here, we also have our social follow buttons. Okay, now let's take a look at our footer. In fact, before we go to our footer, we also have a call to action button right here. Now let's take a look at our footer. And over here, you can see we have all our links, and these are buttons. And as I explained, you need to make sure that these are linking to the right places. Now, once everything is all set up, now you have a perfect header and footer, which can be customized to your liking. So there you have it. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and do follow us on our social media platforms. By doing so, you'll be notified every time we release new tutorials. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.